T-Man 978 Chill Review.
Hello everyone, T-Man 978 doing a Throwback Thursday review of Transformers Universe Classics 2.0, Ratchet and Ironhide here. During Classics, Hasbro started servicing the fans and collectors by giving us some old school G1 characters, and during Universe Classics 2.0 they went all out and gave us even more characters. And they even did the Generations thing and threw some Armada and Beast Wars figures in there. But as you can see, here are Ratchet and Ironhide, and they haven't been my favorite of the Universe Classics 2.0 line or Classics line. But looking at them right here in this camera right now on my view screen, they look very nice right here. Now, one problem with them is their proportions. Like their main number one problem, I don't know if you can see this, but both of them are kind of looking down. And that has been a main piece of frustration for everybody. Like from this angle, it looks like he's looking straight, but their heads do not come up all the way unless you mistransform them, which is frustrating. They have a lot of back kibble, as you can see. They tried to make this an all-inclusive transformation, unlike the original G1 toy, where the backpacks basically came off and became a battle station. But I guess another problem people had were the way the legs are designed. From the front, they don't look too bad, but they filled that in a bit. I mean, it looks good enough. But what they did give us is some awesome ankle pivot. So the legs are good. Maybe another issue, their arm articulation is weird and awkward. Like, they don't bend in any more than that, but they do have good articulation because the shoulder goes in like back and forth like that. It does rotate, but at a weird, like at a diagonal angle. The arms can go out due to the transformation, but can go out, and let's see. There's no swivel in the bicep. It's just one of those swiveling forearms, which, ugh, I hate that. The hands can curl in right here, which is cool. Can bend in and turn on a ball joint. But one other unfortunate thing about the hands, they cannot hold 5mm peg guns because of the way they're formed. But what they can hold are these tools right here. I like to give Ratchet this bladed gun so it can look like a tool, and I give Ironhide, and they're not colored. I give Ironhide the blaster. But what you can do is separate it. Their hands go inside of here, which is cool. You can separate this, spin it around, and shove the hand in this way. And now he has a blade as well, which was cool for its time. As you can see, for some reason they gave Ironhide a blue face. There were so many memes and jokes about that. They have silver right here. Why they couldn't use silver for the face, I have no idea whether that was a mistake or what. But they went on and used his window coloring for his face. Their heads are new molds. I mean, they're similar, but they're different at the same time. Like, there's a little, as you can see, like that lip at the side of his head. Ratchet doesn't have that. I don't know why my camera's fighting me lately. It sucks. Please bear with me. And of course he has this wing on his head. So this molding right there is different. And Ironhide, the light piping plastic right there, has a sharp edge on the back, whereas Ratchet's doesn't. So they have different molded heads, and the face is ever so different. The eyes look the same. Let me see if I can zoom in on this. And the way it's bent in there makes it even harder to get. But like the lines on the face are different. Like Ironhide's is more puffy and rough looking. whereas Ratchet's is more flat. While we're zoomed in, you can see they gave them cool license plates right there. It says Oregon, and Ratchet says, I guess that's help you too. So he's willing to help you too. You can see they're transparent parts that they don't give us anymore, barely. Transparent lights, and you'll see more in the vehicle mode. Let me zoom back out. Anyway, other than the proportions that I went on up the top, he has a waist joint that bends like in the center of the body. So the crotch, if you thought the Combiner Wars figures had weird crotches, look at that mess. But the legs, like I was mentioning, are awesome. They have a hinge right there. They kick forward. They're actually screwed in, as you can see. They have a hip swivel and a knee that doesn't get anywhere near 90 degrees. Less. Yeah, well, maybe no. That's straight and that's bent. And the toe can go up, not back too much. Well, it can go back if you bend that for the transformation. And like I said, ankle pivot. So they are cool, decent little figures. Let me get some comparisons in here. You know what's funny? I used to consider these two short deluxes, but it's weird seeing that they're the same exact height as the current Combiner Wars figures. Why did I consider them short deluxes? Because look at Sunstreaker right here. Sunstreaker came out at the same time as Ironhide. And even this Special Ops Reveal the Shield Jazz, who I did review, look it up, T-Man 978. Reveal the Shield Jazz. He's taller, and he came out a few years later. Now we have Ratchet and First Aid, who he partnered up with a couple times in the comics recently. So I guess that's the closest comparison to something current. Before we go to transformation, I don't know if I mentioned this already, but there is a way you can get his head to look up further, but you have to break the transformation basically. Lift this up, or actually lift this forward. Now bring these wheels out like this. Bring this bumper up, which is all part of transforming him back into a vehicle. Now bring this down, and his head sticks a lot further up, as you can see. And I guess you can finagle this to be flush to his back. Well, unfortunately, now he has wheels on the side. He looks like the back of a van or the front of his original van. And he has a bumper right there, and the crotch is sticking straight down, which it doesn't look that good. Anyway, transformation. Let's do this right. I don't know if I mentioned this, but the weapon actually clips onto his forearm. Remove that. I guess we can fold this out of the way for now. Fold the hands out of the way. And do like I did before. Pull this straight up. And right here, when you pull the bumper down, that's some cool automorph. Bring this way. Bring this way. And this guy's kind of like a puzzle. He looks complex. And he is a little bit complex. But basically, line these windows up, which is simple. Turn this around, and boom. It's like putting a puzzle together. Unfortunately, you're going to see where that's a problem in the vehicle mode, which you may already be seeing right now. Okay, we got that together. Now the legs, how do we do this? Keep it like this, but you elongate the crotch. Stretch the foot out, bring that like that. Stretch the foot out, bring that like this. This part, you unhinge this roof and bring it out like that. Well, don't transform this foot all the way because the hood needs to come out like that. Now you bend the knee backward and wrap around the hood, around the leg at the same time. Do the same thing over here. If you missed that, move that back some, open this up, bend the knee backwards, wrapping the hood around and putting that into place. Now we can shut this on both sides. And now we can lift that up and peg the wheel area into the bottom of the foot, or into the foot part. Simple enough. Lift this out like this, keep this up out the way, bring the arms in. Actually lift that up, bring the arms in, put them into place. Unfortunately, they don't actually like tab in or click in. I mean, they stay with friction, but they don't stay good. Bring this in over here. I see where they're supposed to slot together, but it's annoying and tricky. Now we have this. So we need to bring this hinge down and wrap the front part of the hood around and put the bumper into place. And then you just have to basically give it a good squeeze, shoving everything else into place. I mean, I see what they're doing, but the execution is just not the greatest. And oh my God, I got Ratchet to be better than this. But here we have Ironhide in his SUV mode. The weapon, you have to move these hands out the way. And the weapon has a little peg right there. You can turn it this way and groove it into this hole right there. Or try to put it in there. I did it a lot easier than I did Ratchet over here, but as you can see, all those panel lines are horrific. And then it barely stays together right here. I mean, it's like all this body wants to squeeze inward this way, which isn't a good thing for the top. But if it didn't have the panel lines, they would look decent. But as you can see, this is a horrible mess. And this was everybody's main problem with these things. Screw all those other robot mode problems. This is horrible. And unfortunately, as you can see from mine, this is transparent plastic painted. And that paint is worn, and I barely even play with this toy, so that's unfortunate. Ratchet, I'm not sure if he was some type of exclusive or maybe he was one of the last figures released, but he and Hotshot, where I couldn't find them anywhere. One day I just happened to find them in a comic shop, and I had to pay $15 for both of them, and that almost killed me because this was in 2009, I believe. That almost killed me. Little did I know we're going to be paying $15, $16 for these dudes. Now let me get them transformed. And here they are next to some Combiner figures, current Combiner figures, or current generations figures. And as you can see, these figures kind of are bigger than what we get now, even though they were relatively the same height in robot mode. And here's his comparison. In Japan, this guy had stripes, I believe, and looked way more G1. And here from this angle, if you had them backwards and didn't look at the front, they look very reminiscent of their original selves. So that's cool. But I like their robot modes. The robot modes are cool and passable, but these vehicle modes, especially Ironhide here, oh, they're atrocious. So I might have made somebody's decision to buy this guy a lot easier, even though this is one of my least favorite Combiner Wars figures. But anyway, maybe I can let you just see everything a little bit more. I didn't like that the windows are blue. This is transparent blue, but they don't match at all. In an SUV, usually you have tinted windows in the back. They should have just did that. I'd rather they be dark all the way around, but I guess they wanted to have that G1 feel, but what's the use because this window is still transparent in robot modes. So, I don't know. Maybe this made you want to hunt these down. Maybe it didn't. But either way, if you like this video, give me a like, share, comment, subscribe. T-Man978 out of here. Till next time.